Hello, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to the big show. My name is Mickey. This is Mickey in the Middle, the quintessential show for Middle Americans, where all Middle Americans are welcome. It doesn't matter what your demographic is, doesn't matter where you've been, doesn't matter where you go. It just matters that you're here right now, celebrating the fact that somebody in our past had enough brain power to put together a concept that basically only says one thing. It only says one damn thing. Let them be free. What? What? Let them be free? Let who be free? Well, let all people be free. Let's not fool ourselves. I don't know. We have one of two choices. There's only two choices for governments to make. Freedom for the people or enslavement of the people. Let me go over those one more time. Freedom or enslavement. There's no in between. Well, I guess there's an in between, right? But our forefounders, our founding fathers, they all said, hey, you know what? We need to have the maximum freedom as possible. Matter of fact, how about if we do this? How about if we have states? We'll start with 13, but if somebody else wants to join us, that's cool. Let's go from 13 to 14. I don't know. Man, let's go. Let's let up to 50 people, let's 50 states come in. What a great idea. So how are we going to run the people? Well, let's agree on certain unalienable rights that all of the people have. It doesn't matter where they're in Maine or Florida or in California or Washington or out there in Hawaii or in Kansas, up in Alaska. Doesn't matter where they are. Let's give all the people certain rights that cannot be taken away by the government. They cannot be taken away by us. They cannot be taken away by the federal government. They cannot be taken away by an executive authority. They cannot be taken away by the governor of a state. They can't be taken away from the state legislatures. We're just going to come up with a few things, just a few. And we're going to say that those are rights that are without question, that as much as we can make them applicable to freedom, that's what we're going to do. We're going to have so few rules that it's going to be absolutely crazy when you get done. And you're going to love this list. You're going to absolutely love this list of freedoms that you have. And I got news for you, for everybody that's out there. It's kind of cool that the Supreme Court of the United States is knocking these decisions out, going, hey, freedom of the people, freedom of the press, freedom of religion, freedom of self-defense, freedom against search and seizures. We're going to make the people as free as we possibly can, because our job as Supreme Court of the United States of America is not to legislate from the bench. Our job is to make sure that the rules as written are being followed. How about that? So let's go over a couple of these rules while, whoa. Incoming news. The Supreme Court of the United States of America just decided that New York does not have the right to give you a test to find out whether you can conceal, carry, and protect yourself. What? The Supreme Court, they just voted 6-4 and 3 against. You see, what happened was New York City and New York, the state, had a rule that said, hey, before you can have a gun and carry it with you, you got to ask us, and we're going to approve whether we think you need a gun or not. Could you imagine asking somebody, hey, I tell you what, man, before I say anything, do I have your permission to say something? New York? Well, I mean, I know it's a constitutional right, but you think that you have the right to go ahead and limit my stuff. As a matter of fact, the governor of New York today said, what? We can restrict speech all that we want, but you're going to tell me that guns are going to have no rules? People are stupid. People are stupid. All right, let's do some Olympics. Hey, everybody, how you doing? Susie, Goebel, Susie, silver medal Goebel coming in with a gold medal. So now tonight it is Susie, gold medal Goebel. Congratulations, well done. That is awesome. Congratulations, Susie. Great to see you. Mark Calcaterra coming in a smooth silver medal. Here's what the deal is. Every single time that we have testosterone represented in the top three, it always makes me feel good. Congratulations, Mark. And 2 out of 3, that's Steve Hayes coming all the way up from Florida, bringing in the top 3. So, Susie, congratulations on the gold. Congratulations to Mark on the silver. And Steve Combat Hayes bringing in the bronze. The dudes dominated tonight on a day that I figured that they would, because they are celebrating the Supreme Court of the United States of America once again affirming the rights of the people that are endowed by their creator. So I got a whole bunch of notes. That whole first part was just improvised. I just faked that. I have no idea where I'm going. All I know is I'm terribly excited because the Supreme Court of the United States did the right thing. They said, hey, look here. You can't decide who gets a gun and when they can use it. So apparently anybody in New York can get a gun. The only problem is that you're not allowed to carry it anywhere. They're like, hey, man, you got to leave it locked up at home. What? Yeah, that's right. You got to leave it locked up at home. That's like, you can say anything you want to say at home, but you're not allowed to say anything you want to on the street. You're allowed to practice all the religion you want in your house, but you're not allowed to practice religion. Oh, wait a minute. Unless you have a really, really good and compelling reason to actually worship and pray the way that you want to pray and whenever you want to do that. So let's get down to the specifics of the court case that was decided today. I know I've been a little bit rambly, so, this is the way that I wanted to start the show. Hello and welcome to Gun Safety with Mickey. The safest way to have a gun is to not have a gun. Second, the second safest way to have a gun is to ask me if you should have a gun. If I'm not available, ask the state of New York if you're allowed to carry a gun with you wherever you go. Now, it doesn't matter what your personal circumstances are. Doesn't matter whether you feel in danger. Doesn't matter whether you're a little person. Doesn't matter whether you're disabled or old or you're going into a hazardous thing or that, you might have a hazardous job. What do? Well, I have a small business, and every single night I have to take the cash register receipts of $3,000 to $5,000 down and make a deposit in a bank down the street. Oh, and you would like to carry a gun? Well, I don't know. I don't think so. Here's what the deal is. If you need the police are only going to be 5 to 10 minutes away. And I'm sure that whoever's going to rob you or whoever's going to threaten your life, I'm sure they will wait for the cops to come around. Because the only thing that can stop a bad guy with a gun is a cop with a gun. Well, that's the thing. That's the logic that New York is using. So the entire case, which was, let's go on this, New York State Rifle and Pistol Association Incorporated et al. V. Bruin Superintendent of New York State Police et al. It was challenged by the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association and gun owners Brandon Koch and Robert Nash. We have got to change the name of Brandon now to mean a good thing, because Let's Go Brandon is really Let's Go Brandon Koch and Nash, and Robert Nash, because Brandon Koch and Robert Nash were a couple of people that had been using guns their entire life. They'd use them at work, they'd use them recreationally, and they were like, hey, I would like to be able to carry my gun to a range. And New York said, no, you can't carry your gun to the range. And they were like, we want to carry our gun to the range. And New York said, no, you can't carry a gun to the range. You got to have a gun. You have to leave it at home or you leave it at the range, but you're not allowed to transport it. And they went, that's bullshit. I should be able to have a gun and transport it any way I want to, especially if I feel like I have a need to defend myself. Under normal circumstances, New York City's a bad place. New York is a bad place. They got crime statistics that'll make your eyeballs bleed. And if your eyeballs don't bleed for that, some criminal's going to come along and stab you in the eye anyway. So Brandon Robert basically said, hey, look here, man, this is bullshit. We're going to take them to civil court. And guess what? They lost. The people in New York said, hey, man, you can't be taking guns. You can't have a gun for defense. And then they went, oh, that's wrong, man. We're going to appeal this. And they appealed it and appealed it and appealed it. And it got turned down the entire time until it got to the Supreme Court of the United States. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Because then the justices had to take the case. They had to go, okay, this is worthy of merit and this is worthy of us taking a look at this. And when they came down, it came down 6-3. 6-3 isn't even close. I don't understand how anybody on the Supreme Court that didn't vote for freedom to be able to defend yourself or to transport your own property is still on the Supreme Court. They need to resign in shame. It's absolutely, totally atrocious that the Supreme Court of the United States of America doesn't believe, three of them don't believe that you have the right to defend yourself anywhere, anytime, any place. So, what else is going on here? Back to the class. First, don't own a gun. Second, ask me if you can own a gun and transport a gun so that I can say, yes, you can own a gun, but no, you can't transport it because, safety, and it doesn't matter what your personal situation is. I, as the state of New York, would prefer for you to just stay sheeple and do whatever I say. We have people that are trained in the use of firearms to always be approximately 5 to 10 minutes away from serving you whenever it needs, because the police are taught to protect and serve unless they're busy, unless they don't have availability, unless we're understaffed, and but you understand. I mean, stuff goes wrong. That's why we have a complaints department. So if you're being robbed and the police don't show up in time, it's not the police's fault. And you should just give over your shit. It doesn't matter how much stuff you have. It doesn't matter whether it's your mom's brooch, your mother's ring, your dad's tattoos, whatever the criminals want, go ahead and give them the tattoo. Give them the brooch, give them the rings, give them your money, give them your watch, your wallet, your credit cards. Don't worry if the police aren't going to show up. Just fold over. Insurance will take care of that for you. Oh, insurance doesn't take care of personal needs? Oh, and don't worry if you get shot or stabbed, because the ambulance and first responders are also only 5 to 10 minutes away, or 15, depending on where you are and how busy traffic is. So you're good. So don't worry about defending yourself, because if you are shot because the police don't show up, then the first responders are only 5, 10, or 15 minutes away. And I'm sure that somebody will take a finger and stick it in a wound to keep you from bleeding out. Yeah. Does it sound ridiculous yet? Does it sound ridiculous that everybody in the United States of America should have the ability to protect themselves at all times? And it doesn't matter whether you are a man, a woman, a child, a trans, a LGBT, a T, a Q, an A, an I, an old person, a young person. For everybody that's out there, From everybody that's out there, this is what a gun looks like. This is what a gun looks like. That was smooth, man. I just stabbed myself right in the rib cage. But this is also what a gun looks like. You know what these are? These are tools. They don't hurt anybody. They don't do anything. They're just tools. You know what this does? You know what it does? It allows me to protect myself in my home. I'm not a criminal. I'm not a bad person. I'm just a person that is old and frail. I've been beat up. I don't like getting beat up. I've been robbed. I don't like getting robbed. If somebody comes in here with ill intent, what the F am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to ask the state of Arkansas if it's okay if I defend myself? No, they're just saying, oh, no, you can defend yourself, but you can't use a gun. You can't use a firearm. You got to use a pencil, a pen, a pocket knife, clapping. Use a fork, but you're not allowed to use the most capable thing. You're not allowed to use a weapon. And when you leave your home, you should not be safe there either. That's why this Supreme Court did the right thing today by telling New York to pound sand that they cannot have two tests. First one is, are you eligible to own a gun? The answer is, if you're not a felon, if you're not crazy, if you're not, I don't know, everybody else should be able to own a gun. Criminals should not have guns. And it was like, well, if everybody has guns, yeah, then maybe some criminals will stop doing some criminal shit. That's the first thing. Second thing is that you don't have to have a gun. You don't have to carry a gun. You can just do whatever you want to do. I don't understand why it bothers anybody that I have a gun or that I would like to carry a gun in my car on a trip going through New York on my way to Massachusetts. I ride a motorcycle. I'm very, very, very vulnerable. I'm an old person. I have to stop at gas stations. I stopped in Harlem. I got off the road in Harlem to go get some gas one time, and I was like, this is New York City. Crazy scary. And I went down to New Jersey, and I got gas in New Jersey, and I got off in New Jersey, and I was like, this is crazy scary. In Knoxville, in the middle of the night, crazy scary. Here's the thing. Am I less valuable? Am I not allowed to use all of the tools that are commercially available to me to protect myself? The Supreme Court of the United States made the decision to enforce the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment to the Constitution says, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of the free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Two cases also are applicable. Number one is the Heller case. Heller said, hey, you know what? People should be, if people can have guns, they might as well be able to use them to defend themselves. That's what Heller said. Heller said, hey, yeah, you're allowed to have a gun to defend yourself. It only makes sense that you should be allowed to use a gun to defend yourself. And it doesn't have anything to do with the Second Amendment. That just says that the Second Amendment says because you have a government, if the government wants to remain in power, they have to have a military. However, if the government becomes tyrannical, the people have to have the right to bear arms so they can fight their own damn government. As long as we're going to have guns, we might as well make it where they can be used effectively for home and self-defense. Let's see. Oh, yeah. How important is your life? I'm going to read this. It's pretty good. How important is your life? If you don't give a shit about your life, don't feel that you need to protect it. If you don't give a shit about your family, don't feel like you need to protect them either. I'm not sure where people started to believe that it was somebody else's job to take care of them and to protect them and protect their family and protect their stuff. But the people that believe it's somebody else's job to protect yourself and to protect your family and to protect all of your other shit should not have to fall on anybody else. Because, like I said, I don't know who you're counting on, but I wouldn't count on the government to bring me a sandwich or a donut, even if they're in the neighborhood. But if you want to give up your right to defend yourself, if you want to give up the right to defend yourself, I'm all for that. You don't have to defend yourself. But let me tell you something. When it comes right down to it, you're going to defend yourself. If you think that somebody's coming after you, who's going to kill you, going to rape you, going to pillage you, going to plunder you, you're going to defend yourself. And in that moment, you're going to go, why me? I'll tell you why. Because you are sissy and you didn't want the right to defend yourself. You wanted to give that right and you wanted to give that job to somebody else. And I don't feel sorry for people that want to say, oh, it's somebody else's job to defend me. It's not somebody else's job to defend you. It's your job to defend you. It's your job to defend the way that you worship. It's your job to defend your right to free speech. It's your job to defend against illegal search and seizure. It's your job to defend on everything that you have, the right that you don't have to incriminate yourself, the right to be secure in your papers and in your possessions. All of the things that are listed in the top 10, you should go beyond that. You should secure the right to vote. You should say that the people are going to be free. All of the amendments that are in here. The Second Amendment defends them all. And New York City was saying, we're going to decide what you can defend. We're going to do that. We're the government. And you know what they did for years and years and years and years? They denied all requests. Unless you kissed their ass. Unless you bribed them. And I'll say that right now. New York City, you should be ashamed of yourself. New York State, you should be ashamed of yourself. You have left your people defenseless. You have disarmed your population, and your population has paid for it. You do not incarcerate people the way that you're supposed to incarcerate them, and you do not enforce the good gun laws that you have on the books. Oh, I'm not worried about whether somebody's had 3 felonies or not, and they're raping somebody with a gun. We're not going to take the guns into consideration, or the rape into consideration, or the fact that they're a 3-time loser and they shouldn't be out on bail and bond, so that when they kill a couple of cops, those cops deserve to be killed. What kind of bullshit is that? People have to defend themselves, New York, because you have done a shitty job defending them. Amendments that are going to be protected by the Second Amendment. Oh, I don't know. Religion, free speech, freedom of speech, freedom of the press. Oh, freedom to assemble. I missed that one earlier. To petition the government for a redress of grievances. To keep soldiers out of your house and to not have any unnecessary taxes. The right of people to be secure in their person, their house, the paper, their possessions against unreasonable searches and seizures. That nobody can come after you unless they got a warrant that is sworn by an oath or an affirmation. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentation or indictment from a grand jury accepting the cases arising from land or naval forces and then militia, or when in war. You will not have double jeopardy. That's when they try you twice for the same crime. They can't continue to try you over and over and over. Nobody shall be deprived of life, liberty, property without due process of law. In suits at common law where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of a trial by jury shall be preserved. Excessive bail won't have that, nor unusual punishment. The right to vote. Oh my God, I can't believe that we're having this discussion. I can't believe that the Supreme Court of the United States has made the right decision, and all of the people that are complaining about it don't have to worry about being in fear every single day like most of the people that are in inner cities, that are in crime-ridden neighborhoods. They don't have the ability to defend themselves, and we have psyched them out to the point where they don't even know that they can own a gun and defend themselves and fight back. That's what the shame is. There are some people that are out there that are still saying that this is a bad decision. They need to step up and they need to do some explaining to the rest of us and why they feel that my life is not worthy of defending. Oh, your life is worth defending, Mickey. Oh, yeah, but I'm just not allowed to do it in the way that I see fit. No one in New York should have a car. Rationale is their public transportation. Sounds good. Hey, there is Steve Hayes. There you go. You're in. All right. If no one in New York should have a car, the rationale of this is public transportation. Sounds good, doesn't it? Thank you very much, Mark. That is an excellent point. Nobody in New York should have a car without permission of the state because they have public transportation. That is absolutely. Robbed of golds, Steve. Here's what the deal is. We're going to review the tape and see if you are, in fact, gold. Let's go get some more ammo. I've got ammo. Got additional ammo. I can't believe I couldn't get Glockenspiel out of the holster. That's why I have Rug. This is Rug, by the way. This is a Ruger 9mm. This is my pocket carry. This is my EDC, my everyday carry. Glock only goes to the range because the Glock 43 is a smooth gun. I love this gun. But those are my defensive carries, right? All right. So anyway, what else do I have? Debbie Caldwell, hello. Welcome to the big show. Let's go R&B. Nice holster skill. I know, Steve. I embarrassed myself. Here's the deal. If somebody comes through the door, I'm getting a baseball bat first. Pink Floyd hammers are marching now. And then this is the last comment. You bet that's why I've taken classes to learn how to protect myself with a gun. No one's coming when you need them any more than at least in a timely manner. Thank you very much, Debbie. I am too, right? So I used to think that I was a badass when I was younger, but I used to get beat up a lot. And now I can't take a punch the way that I wanted to. And matter of fact, I don't want anybody punching me at all. So I'm going to avoid confrontation as much as possible. But here's what the funny thing is about that. I'm a DJ. I end up late at night behind venues where a lot of people have been drinking. And you know what it's like when bartenders, waitresses, and DJs and bands go home? It's 2:00 in the morning and it's dark. And normally it's downtown. And normally there's a homeless population. And if you're in New York City, if you were in New York, I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to try to uphold this law. They're going to make some dumbass law again that has to go to the Supreme Court. They're going to try to restrict these guns. The governor of the state of New York literally said, Somebody on, oh, by the way, this is my last 2 points. Somebody on Fox said this is a big win for Second Amendment enthusiasts across the country. That is a bullshit statement. This is not a big win for Second Amendment enthusiasts across the country. This is a win for anybody in the country that wants to have the ability to protect themselves. And it doesn't matter whether you're enthusiastic about the Second Amendment or you don't think about the Second Amendment. This has to do with the ability to protect yourself. So all those people that are going, yay for the Second Amendment, this has nothing to do with that. It's an inalienable right. You should have the right to protect yourself to the best ability that you have. And it doesn't matter what the damn book says. It doesn't matter that we have it written in the Second Amendment to the Constitution. The fact that we have to have it written down at all that says that you're allowed to defend yourself against being beaten to death or being raped or being pillaged or being plundered, that you have the right to shoot somebody while defending yourself, your family, and your stuff. Why in the hell is that even a freaking question? It shouldn't have anything to do with the fact that the Supreme Court does this. The fact is that New York, the state of New York, took people's rights away so they couldn't even defend themselves. That's the bullshit part of this. And they did it since 1910 or some bullshit like that. 1913 is when they came up with this stupid ass law. The second thing is, the governor of New York said, her name is Kathy Hochul, whatever that is. Shocking, absolutely shocking that they have taken away our rights to have reasonable restrictions. Reasonable restrictions, Kathy? We can have restrictions on speech. You can't yell fire in a crowded theater, but somehow there's no restrictions on the Second Amendment. So here's the deal. Everything she said in that statement was bullshit and a lie. Let me tell you why. We have all kinds of restrictions on the Second Amendment. If you're a felon, if you fail a background check, if you can't possess a gun for any of the other reasons that are listed, age limits, size, scope, restrictions, particularly age restrictions. A 5-year-old cannot go into a gun store and buy a gun. Not happening. That means that we do have restrictions. The only thing the Supreme Court said, Kathy, was that people need to be able to have the right to defend themselves without your permission. So screw you, Kathy. You're a bad person because you don't want me to have the ability to defend myself when I'm in your state. No matter how scared I am, no matter how tall I am, no matter whether I just want to have it to feel cozy and comfortable. And as far as free speech goes, she actually believes that she has the right to limit what you say. She said, we could have restrictions on speech, like you can't yell fire in a crowded theater, but somehow there's no restrictions on the Second Amendment. She actually believes that it's restricting your speech and restricting your thought is a good idea. And New York actually came up with one of those things and said, hey, look here, the pandemic's going on, so you're not allowed to go to church. They believe that they can regulate all of your freedoms. Joe Biden said, since 1911, the state of New York has required individuals who would like to carry a concealed weapon in public to show a need to do so for the purpose of self-defense and to acquire a license. Biden said, more than a century later, the United States Supreme Court has chosen to strike down New York's long-established authority to protect its citizens. The United States Supreme, I'll repeat that. The United States Supreme Court has chosen to strike down New York's long-established authority to protect its citizens. To strike down the authority of the citizens to protect themselves, Joe. The right of a citizen to protect themselves without the state's permission. Joe went on to say this ruling contradicts both common sense and the Constitution and should deeply trouble us all. Constitution of the United States doesn't say that you have the right to defend yourself. The Constitution of the United States does not say that you have the right to defend yourself. The Constitution of the United States does not say anything about your liberty. The Constitution of the United States says, we the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity, do ordain and establish the Constitution of the United States. Now, Declaration of Independence says, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. They are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, that you are entitled to life, that you should be able to defend yourself so that you maintain life. Liberty is freedom and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these right governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. I know I hate reading that over and over and over, but the Constitution does not say that you have the right to defend yourself. However, case law has been established through Heller and through whatever the heck that other one is that I can never remember. I can't remember where the other one is. Anyway, Heller's one that says you have a right to self-defense, and you can use firearms to do that. That's crazy. Lane Calcaterra says, hell yes, I will defend myself. It's my right. Then her husband, Mark, says Biden wants to rewrite the Constitution. But I'm going to leave Lane Calcaterra's message up there because it says, hell yes, I will defend myself. It's my right. Yes. So we're going to see what New York does. But I hope that this helps everybody understand that you should not have to ask the government if it's okay with them that you defend yourself. And it doesn't matter whether it's in your house, whether it's in your car, whether it's on the subway, whether it's at work, whether it's at church. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what your circumstances are. You should be allowed to defend yourself without question. And matter of fact, I would like to see that actually become a constitutional amendment. We could call it 26. 26? How many constitutional amendments do we have? 27? 28? I don't know. However many amendments we have, XXII, there's XX71, ratified XXVII, which would be 27. 27, so that'd be the 28th. Hey, Mark Alcantara, 28, he beat me to it, so congratulations. All right, so without that, I just want to let you know, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. I hope you guys learned something. Thank you very much. Remember, like, share, hit the notification bell. Remember, Mickey in the middle, 9 p.m. Central, right here wherever I am, Monday through Friday, right there wherever you are. Remember, keep defending middle America because we need you on our side. Remember, the incumbents have got to go. And remember, thank you very much for your comments. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate them and how much you make the show better. You guys have a great night. Remember, I love you. And without further ado, good night, small one. I love you. See ya.